Back in 2015, once we found out about the Clinton email scam, we asked for Huma Abedin's emails from that email server and any other emails that she created, because Abedin was one of the, I think, the only other State Department official to have an account on Clinton's email server. So we've been getting emails from Huma Abedin for some time. And beginning in August of last year, we started uncovering the pay-for-play emails that Abedin had, showing communications between the State Department, of which she was a top aide, and the Clinton Foundation as they were taking care of donors to the Clinton Foundation. Outrageous criminality if anyone decided to look. Now, lo and behold, you may recall last year also that James Comey in October announced they found emails that were government emails on the laptop of Anthony Weiner, who had been married to Abedin. We just got those emails last week. And we've gone through them, and I think I told you we got them last week, but we didn't know at the time of the update what was in them, and I predicted there'd be classified information. Well, it's actually worse than I think many people expected, in the sense that the documents, we were first told there were 28 government records, 2,800 government documents on this laptop of Anthony Weiner, and the FBI turned them over to the State Department to process and turn over to us. Well, now supposedly there were only 800 government records in the end after they went through the review process, of which we're suspicious and following up on. But in those 800 new records, they've got, there were 18 classified records. 18 classified records were on Anthony Weiner's laptop. Think about that. To say that ought to be concerning to any law enforcement official watching in the Justice Department and the FBI. Now, we all know that James Comey and Loretta Lynch and the whole anti-Trump group at the leadership of the FBI and Justice Department was also pro-Hillary and protecting Hillary Clinton. That's why they didn't prosecute her for this, or Abedin for this. But to have this classified information on Anthony Weiner's laptop is, I think, just one of those things that may be a tipping point in terms of public consciousness about just how egregious it was to let Hillary Clinton and Abedin off the hook for their mishandling of classified information. Now, what are the rules on the handling of classified information? Well, it's not supposed to leave any secure system. If it's on an unsecure system, it's obviously not supposed to leave that. Any government record isn't supposed to do that. Any government record is not supposed to leave a government system without proper permissions. Well, Hillary Clinton thought the rules didn't apply to her. So she kept classified information, some of which was marked classified, others which wasn't, but it doesn't matter because it was classified at the time. It doesn't have to be marked classified to be classified, on her email server. And she and Abedin were sending and receiving classified information on a regular basis. Now, Abedin was married to Anthony Weiner, so unsurprisingly, some of this information from Abedin's emails shows up on the laptop of Anthony Weiner. Here's the scandal. There's so many scandals here, it's hard to unwrap, but here's one of the scandals. Comey knew about this last October and did nothing. And the FBI sat on these documents for 6 months. The State Department took another 6 months to turn them over to us. So there has been a cover-up on this. Because you can imagine, if it had been known last year, there was classified information for sure on Weiner's laptop, the pressure to prosecute would have been much more significant. Now that time has passed, the Clinton gang is hoping that everyone forgets, but we're not going to forget. And so what's to be done next? Now, to be clear, even President Trump had taken note of some of this. He tweeted comments about this story. I forget exactly what the tweet said, but he obviously had been following it. I think Fox News did a report on it, and he tweeted something about it. And he also talked about how Abedin had sent sensitive passwords to her Yahoo account, which again was uncovered by Judicial Watch back in September through these other email productions I've been telling you about. So to sum it all up, there is more than enough information to warrant a serious criminal investigation. And let me give you a little detail of some of the classified information that was on Weiner's laptop, because you're going to be astonished. The classified material included discussions about Saudi Arabia, Egypt, South Africa, the identity of a CIA official. I don't need to tell you why we protect the identities of our intelligence officials. They're doing clandestine work. You don't want the other side to know who they are, that they work for the CIA. It is exceedingly dangerous. Abedin kept this information on in an unsecure location, her husband's laptop. We know what her husband went to jail for. I think her husband's in jail now because of sexual misconduct that was illegal. Information about the war in Syria, Lebanon, Hamas, and the PLO, all of that. So you know why it's serious enough to warrant a criminal investigation. There are 4.5 million people with classified security clearances that give them access to classified information. They all know what the rules are. And they're as outraged as you are if you don't have security clearance to think that Abedin and Clinton have gotten away with it thus far. But the pressure is working, because it was also reported that the Justice Department has at least begun to ask questions about the classified information issue as it relates to Hillary Clinton. So they supposedly are interviewing, the Daily Beast reported this earlier this week. Supposedly they are starting to ask questions of FBI agents and Justice Department officials to figure out what was going on with how much classified information was actually being sent around, the decision not to prosecute, and things like that. Well, that's the least the Justice Department could be doing. And I guarantee you, they wouldn't be doing it but for the disclosures by Judicial Watch in its litigation. They know what we think. And certainly the President has been following our work, and he's also been pressuring the Justice Department to do the right thing. He's being told he's not allowed to talk to him directly, which is absurd, so he's forced to tweet, which is really outrageous. I mean, if I were the President, I'd tell the Justice Department to initiate a special counsel investigation. So it's outrageous, but it's good news at least that the Justice Department is beginning to awake from the slumber. And frankly, the refusal to grapple with the fact that the prior investigation was thoroughly compromised. Again, Clinton Lynch tarmac meeting, Comey's machinations, Andrew Weissman, the #2 official at the FBI, whose wife had gotten well over $500,000 from Terry McAuliffe, a Clinton crony, to run for office in 2015. And then, of course, you've got the FBI texts involving that counter-intel official at the FBI, Peter Strzok, who was involved in all this decision-making I'm talking about the classified handling of information. And he's sending anti-Trump texts and pro-Hillary texts. And those texts were being sent just before the FBI found this classified information that they didn't tell us about. They didn't tell us any of the details. And we want to know the details, but for Judicial Watch's litigation.